chased us down in mercy.
Thank you. My name is Carlos, and you're joining us for the weekly Word Online today. Let me bring your attention to Romans chapter 8, starting at verse 14. It says, "For those who are led by the Spirit of God are the children of God. The Spirit you received does not make you slaves, so that you live in fear again. Rather, the Spirit you have received brought about your adoption to sonship. And by him we cry, Abba, Father." Let me read you this story. I find it quite compelling. Early one summer, a baby was born to a 15-year-old drug addict. A young girl who was woefully unprepared to be a parent. She tried to walk the line that runs between being a teen and an adult. It's quite a challenge, right? But the teenager in her won out. And because she was still just that, a teenager, the situation obviously went from bad to worse. The courts got involved and the child was removed from the home and placed in foster care. Eventually, after what seemed like an eternity of navigating a sea of insanity that often is part of the adoption process, the child was adopted by a loving family, taken in as one of their own. And I think that's fantastic. We love to hear stories like this, don't we? Right? We always like to have a good ending. And, there are millions of children around this world and people who have been adopted into new families. And for the orphan, the ones who go unloved and unwanted, well, the word adoption changes everything for their lives. It gives them hope and it gives them a future. My grandfather, from what I understand, was orphaned at the age of 9 or 10. And it was just his two big brothers and his little brothers and sisters after him that were left behind. He understood what family was about. He was probably one of the best grandfathers to ever grace this world. I miss him dearly to this very day. He understood what it was to be an orphan. He understood what it meant to not have either one of his parents there to support him. And I can only bear to think of what happens to some of the children in our world today who are left behind by their parents, who are seemingly not interested in their lives, and they wind up in the same path of the child in the story that I shared to you. But what's really interesting here is when we're talking about our identity, when we accept Jesus into our hearts and our lives, become his sons and his daughters. And when you become a child of God, not only do you have the right responsibilities, because guess what? Children and families have responsibilities. You also receive the rights as a child of that family. I know today that because even though I wasn't adopted and I love my parents dearly, I know that I could walk into their home today and go right to the fridge and get what I need, and I could sit at the table and I'd be welcomed. And I just want to encourage you today that your identity in Christ is that you're a son and you're the daughter of a living God. And so remember that today, that you have that wonderful privilege of being called a child of God.
Some imagine you are distant and removed, but you chased us down in merciful pursuit.